Have you ever wondered why countless people have slept under the open sky, inside tents, or deep in the wilderness, yet most predators simply walk past them? It sounds strange. After all, a sleeping human cannot see, cannot run, and cannot fight back immediately. On the surface, it seems like the perfect opportunity for a hungry predator, but nature is rarely that simple. Wild predators do not survive by attacking everything they see. Every decision they make is a calculation between risk and reward. One wrong move can mean a broken leg, a serious injury, or even death. In the wild, even the strongest hunter cannot afford costly mistakes. Humans are different from every other animal predators normally hunt. We leave unusual scents, create unfamiliar sounds, build strange shelters, and have a long history of surprising anything that underestimates us. Even while asleep, we are not as vulnerable as we appear. In this video, we will uncover the hidden reasons predators often choose to ignore sleeping humans. Some of these reasons come from biology, some from evolution, and others from lessons predators have learned over thousands of years. By the end, you may never look at the relationship between humans and wild animals the same way again. Stay with me until the very end, because the final reason is the most surprising of all, and it changes the way most people think about who is really being watched in the wild. Let's dive in deeper. Number 1, sleeping doesn't mean defenseless. To a predator, sleep isn't the same as death. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that sleep means complete helplessness. It sounds logical, but nature does not work that way. A sleeping human is not the same as a dead animal lying on the ground. There is a huge difference, and predators know it. Think about this. Have you ever been asleep and suddenly woken up because you heard a loud noise, your phone rang, or someone called your name? Within a second, your body switches from deep rest to full alert. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tighten, and your brain immediately starts trying to understand what is happening. Predators have seen this happen before. A person who looks peaceful one moment can suddenly jump up, scream, wave their arms, shine a bright light, or fight back with surprising force. That sudden explosion of movement can confuse even an experienced hunter. In the wild, confusion is dangerous because every second matters. Imagine you are a predator deciding between two meals. One is a grazing deer that behaves exactly as expected. The other is a strange creature that might wake up screaming, throwing objects, or attracting other humans. Which one would you choose? The answer is obvious. Wild predators are not looking for the most exciting hunt. They are looking for the safest one. They know that every attack carries a risk. A broken tooth, an injured leg, or a deep wound could make hunting impossible for weeks. In the wild, even a small injury can become a death sentence. That is why many predators do not see a sleeping human as an easy target. They see a question mark. They cannot predict what will happen next, and uncertainty is something most predators avoid. Sometimes, the safest decision is simply to walk away and search for prey that behaves in a way they already understand. Number 2, predators fear uncertainty more than hunger. Wild predators don't simply hunt what looks easy. Most people imagine a hungry predator as a fearless killing machine that attacks anything it sees. The truth is far more interesting. In the wild, hunger is dangerous, but making the wrong decision is even more dangerous. A predator does not spend its day asking, "What can I eat?" It asks, "What can I catch without getting hurt?" That is a huge difference. Think about how you make choices in everyday life. If you see two roads leading to the same destination, one is familiar and the other is dark and unknown, most people naturally choose the road they know, not because they are afraid, but because uncertainty makes people cautious. Predators think in a similar way. They prefer prey whose behavior they understand. A deer usually runs, a rabbit hides, A zebra stays with its herd. These patterns have stayed the same for thousands of years, and predators know exactly what to expect. Humans are different. Even while asleep, we are impossible to predict. 1 second, we are completely still. The next second, we might wake up shouting, switch on a bright flashlight, make loud noises, or fight with surprising strength. Some people even sleep with dogs that bark at the slightest movement. Others camp in groups where one person's scream can bring several others running within moments. To a predator, that level of uncertainty is a serious warning. Nature teaches one lesson over and over again. What you cannot predict can easily hurt you. That is why many predators would rather chase an animal whose behavior they have understood for generations than take a chance on a sleeping human whose next move is impossible to guess. In the end, survival is not about being fearless. It is about making smart choices. The predators that live the longest are often not the boldest hunters. They are the ones that know when to walk away from a risk that simply is not worth taking. Number 3, humans leave the scent of other humans. A lone deer smells like one deer. A sleeping human often smells like an entire community. Clothing, smoke, vehicles, food, pets, chemicals, and traces of many other people. One thing most people never think about is that predators do not experience the world the way we do. We rely mostly on our eyes. Predators rely heavily on their noses. Long before they see something, they often smell it. And when they smell a human, they are rarely smelling just one person. A wild deer carries the scent of a deer. A rabbit smells like a rabbit. Their scent is simple and familiar. It fits a pattern that predators have known for thousands of years. Humans are completely different. Even if you are sleeping alone in the forest, your scent tells a much bigger story. Your clothes carry traces of your home. Your shoes may smell like roads, buildings, or vehicles. Your backpack carries food. Your body carries soap, shampoo, laundry detergent, and other scents that do not exist naturally in the wild. If you have a pet at home, traces of that animal may still be on your clothing. Even smoke from a campfire or the smell of fuel can cling to your belongings for hours or even days. To a predator, all these smells blend into one confusing message. Instead of thinking, there is one human here, it may think, there could be many. Imagine walking into a dark house and hearing several different voices behind a closed door. You cannot see anyone, but you know more than one person might be inside. Most people would be careful before opening that door. Predators make similar calculations. This is one reason they often hesitate around humans. Our scent does not simply announce our presence. It suggests connections, activity, and the possibility that others are nearby. In the wild, that uncertainty matters. Nature rewards caution. A predator that assumes it is dealing with one harmless target may suddenly find itself facing several people, loud noises, bright lights, or unexpected danger. Walking away is often the wiser choice. Sometimes the strongest warning a human gives is not a sound or a movement. It is the invisible trail carried in the air, telling predators that this is no ordinary prey. Number 4. A full stomach is safer than a dangerous meal. Most predators spend far more time avoiding injury than chasing food. Here is something that surprises many people. In the wild, predators are often more concerned about getting injured than finding their next meal. That may sound strange because we usually imagine hungry animals taking every chance they get. But nature teaches a very different lesson. For a predator, every hunt is a gamble. A single deep cut, a broken tooth, or an injured leg can change everything. Unlike humans, wild animals cannot visit a hospital or rest while someone brings them food. If they cannot run, chase, or fight, they often cannot eat. And if they cannot eat, they do not survive. That is why experienced predators think far beyond the next meal. They think about tomorrow. Imagine you are carrying your last savings in your pocket. Someone offers you a chance to double your money, but there is also a high chance you could lose everything. Most people would hesitate because protecting what you already have is often wiser than chasing a risky reward. Predators make the same calculation every day. A sleeping human may seem like an easy target at first glance, but appearances can be deceiving. Humans can wake suddenly, shout loudly, fight back, use lights, or attract other people within seconds. What looked like a simple meal can quickly turn into a dangerous situation. Now compare that with a familiar prey animal whose behavior the predator understands. The safer option almost always wins. This is one of the hidden rules of survival that many people never think about. The goal of a predator is not to hunt everything. The goal is to stay healthy enough to hunt again tomorrow. In nature, survival is not awarded to the boldest hunter. It is awarded to the smartest one. The predator that walks away from one risky meal may live long enough to catch hundreds of safer ones. That is why a full stomach is valuable, but an uninjured body is even more valuable. When predators see a sleeping human, many decide that no meal is worth risking the ability to hunt another day. Number 5, we don't smell like natural prey. Natural prey have familiar scent profiles developed over millions of years. One of the biggest advantages humans have is something we cannot even see. It is our scent. While we often judge the world with our eyes, many predators experience it through their noses. Long before they spot movement, they are already collecting information from the air. And what they smell from humans is nothing like what they expect from natural prey. Think about a deer. It smells like grass, soil, leaves, and its own body. A rabbit carries the scent of the places where rabbits live. These smells have remained familiar to predators for thousands of years. Their brains instantly recognize them as possible food. Humans tell a completely different story. Even after taking a shower, putting on clean clothes, or walking through a city, we carry a mixture of scents that barely exist in nature. Soap, shampoo, perfume, laundry detergent, cooked food, metal, fuel, plastic, medicine, and even the materials used to make our backpacks or shoes all become part of our scent. To us, these smells seem normal because we live with them every day. To a wild predator, they are strange and unfamiliar. Imagine opening your refrigerator and finding a food you have never seen before. It might look edible, but you would probably stop and ask yourself, what is this? Most people would be careful before taking the first bite. Predators often react in a similar way. Their survival depends on recognizing patterns. When something smells completely different from everything they have hunted before, caution takes over. Their instinct is not to rush in. Their instinct is to slow down and assess the risk. This is another reason humans are such unusual targets. We do not fit neatly into the predator's mental picture of food. Our scent carries the fingerprints of modern life, and those unfamiliar signals can make predators hesitate. Sometimes the greatest protection is not size or strength. Sometimes it is simply being so different that nature itself struggles to decide exactly what you are. Number 6, human silence is suspicious. Most prey animals continue making small natural sounds while resting. There is something about sleeping humans that many people never notice, but predators might. It is not what we do, it is what we stop doing. Most wild animals are never completely silent, even when they are resting. A deer may flick its ears, a rabbit may shift its body, birds rustle their feathers. Small movements, gentle breathing, and natural sounds are part of life in the wild. These patterns are so common that predators learn them from a young age. They know what normal prey sounds like. Humans are different. When many of us fall into a deep sleep, we can become surprisingly still and quiet. We are not grazing, chewing leaves, scratching the ground, or making the small sounds that many prey animals naturally make. To us, this seems completely normal. To a predator, it can be unusual. Imagine walking through your neighborhood every day. You are used to hearing children playing, cars passing, dogs barking, and people talking. Then one afternoon, everything becomes completely silent. No voices, no traffic, no movement. Instead of feeling relaxed, you would probably become more alert. You would wonder why everything suddenly changed. Predators can react in a similar way. In the wild, unusual silence often means something important is happening. It could mean another predator is nearby. It could mean danger is close. Animals pay attention to changes in their environment because those changes can mean the difference between life and death. A sleeping human can create that same sense of uncertainty. Instead of sending the familiar signals predators expect from prey, we create a situation that does not fit their experience. They cannot easily read what is in front of them. That uncertainty matters more than many people realize. Wild predators are not rewarded for making bold guesses. They survive by recognizing familiar patterns and avoiding situations they cannot understand. Sometimes silence is not an invitation. Sometimes it is a warning. And in nature, anything that cannot be easily explained is often treated with caution rather than confidence. Number 7. Humans rarely sleep alone in nature. Throughout evolution, humans survived in groups. If there is one lesson nature has repeated for thousands of years, it is this: humans are rarely alone. Long before cities, houses, and modern technology existed, our ancestors survived by staying together. They hunted together, traveled together, and slept together. A single person standing alone was uncommon. Most of the time, where there was one human, there were many more close by. Predators learned this lesson the hard way. Imagine spotting one parked car in the middle of nowhere. You might assume only one person is around. But if you walk a little farther and suddenly discover an entire campsite filled with people, your first assumption was completely wrong. That is often how predators experience humans. One sleeping person may look like an easy opportunity, but that one person could be part of a larger group resting just a few meters away. A scream in the middle of the night can wake several people within seconds. What seemed like one target can suddenly become 5, 10, or even more. For a predator, that is a dangerous gamble. Wild animals do not make decisions based only on what they see. They also think about what they cannot see. If there is even a chance that more humans are nearby, many predators would rather avoid the risk completely. This cautious behavior did not appear overnight. It was shaped over countless generations. Predators that underestimated groups of humans were more likely to be injured or driven away. Those that learned to keep their distance had a better chance of surviving and passing that cautious behavior to future generations. Even today, this ancient pattern still influences many wild animals. A lone human may seem isolated, but predators cannot be sure that person is truly alone. They know humans have a long history of appearing in groups, and they treat that possibility seriously. Nature teaches a simple but powerful lesson. What you cannot see can still change the outcome. For many predators, the greatest danger is not the sleeping person in front of them. It is the people who might be just beyond the darkness, ready to respond. Number 8. We carry invisible weapons. Predators cannot tell whether a sleeping person has a knife, firearm, alarm, flashlight, or other means of defense. One of the greatest advantages humans have is not always visible. In fact, it is often completely hidden. When a predator looks at a deer, it already has a good idea of what that animal can do. It knows how fast it can run, how it usually escapes, and how much resistance to expect. Everything is familiar. Humans are different. A sleeping person may look harmless, but appearances reveal very little. Hidden inside a backpack could be a flashlight powerful enough to flood the area with light. A loud alarm could suddenly shatter the silence. A knife or another tool might be within reach. Even something as simple as a cooking pot being struck can create a noise that startles wild animals. The predator has no way of knowing what surprises are waiting. Imagine walking toward a closed box with a sign that says, "Contents unknown." Would you confidently open it without hesitation? Probably not. Most people become cautious when they cannot predict what is inside. Predators think in much the same way. Their survival depends on avoiding unnecessary surprises. They cannot inspect a human the way we inspect an object. They have only seconds to decide whether the risk is worth taking. That uncertainty changes everything. A sleeping human might wake up with nothing more than a flashlight. Another might have equipment that creates loud sounds or bright light. Another could be surrounded by camping gear that becomes a barrier. From the predator's point of view, every human carries possibilities that cannot be seen from the outside. Nature has always rewarded caution over reckless confidence. A predator that assumes too much may pay for that mistake with an injury that ends its ability to hunt. That is a price few predators can afford. This is why many predators choose the safer option. They move on and search for prey whose defenses are familiar and predictable. The lesson reaches beyond the wild. Things are not always as they appear. Sometimes the greatest strength is not what everyone can see. It is what remains hidden until the moment it matters. In nature, the unknown often carries more weight than the obvious, and that invisible uncertainty is enough to make even skilled predators think twice. In final words, in nature, survival does not belong to the creature that takes every chance. It belongs to the one that knows which chances to refuse. If there is one lesson to take away from this discussion, it is that predators do not ignore sleeping humans because they are weak, kind, or afraid. They do it because they have learned that humans are one of the most unpredictable creatures they can encounter. A sleeping person may look vulnerable, but looks can be deceiving. To a predator, a human carries too many unanswered questions. Is this person really alone? Will they wake up suddenly? Are there others nearby? Will strange lights appear? Will loud noises follow? Those unanswered questions create risk, and in the wild, risk is often more dangerous than hunger. The natural world is built on careful decisions. Every move has consequences. The predators that survive are not always the strongest or the fastest. They are the ones that avoid unnecessary mistakes. There is also a lesson here for us. We often judge situations by what we can see, but nature reminds us that what is hidden can matter even more. A quiet moment does not always mean safety. A calm appearance does not always mean weakness, and the smartest decision is not always the boldest one. The next time you hear someone say that humans are ignored simply because predators are scared of us, remember that the truth is far more fascinating. Wild predators are expert judges of risk. They understand that some opportunities are simply too uncertain to be worth the price. Sometimes walking away is not a sign of fear. It is the highest form of wisdom. And in the wild, wisdom is often the reason survival continues for another day. Thank you for watching.